You can tell it's July in La Haye because the local yacht club, the La Haye River Yacht Club, does their sailing school. And every year they sail down from the yacht club down to the La Haye bakery, and then they actually have lunch, and then they go all the way back. And if you take a look here, it's the La Haye bakery. Oh, my seagull's in the way. There you go. This seagull sticks around all day. Here's the La Haye bakery. That's the Cape La Haye is the boat just next to it. That's a scallop dragger. It's a good day for sailing. I think it's around about 24 degrees centigrade. There's a light breeze, but not too much, and a beautiful sky. Hi, this is Vaughan Smith at westcotebellpottery.ca. I'm a sham. I'm going to show you my wife's pottery. It's not mine. I made the pieces, but all the work is in the painting. Anyway, my wife doesn't like to go on camera. But anyway, the earthenware firing that we do, which is what these are, is fired glaze to cone 04, and we bisque to cone 01. So when we glaze the pieces, they take a long time to dry because the clay is already impervious. So that's the only difference. But by doing so, low firing the glaze firing than the bisque, you can fire on stilts with platters and plates and they don't warp. And so that's an advantage. And the clay is much harder and more durable than regular earthenware when you fire up to a higher bisque firing like that. 01's pretty high for earthenware clay. So here we go. I've shown you the pieces before that my wife does. They're kind of special because she doesn't do very many and they're all hand painted. So, you know, when I can make 24 mugs in a day, she can only do 1 or 2. Here you go. There's a good view. All right, so in addition, I'm doing the bases at this temperature, 04. I fire my buttercrocks. So these are meant for the water with a piece that goes in top, butter keepers, and this is this clay at cone 04 will retain a little bit of porosity so that water can evaporate through it and cool the butter. We'll talk about that in the video that I'm going to do about these. But anyway, this is the only other thing I put in these firings. There's no glaze on them, they're just clay, basically fired up to cone 04. Platters in here. Let's make sure the stilts all fell off. They did. So the bottom of the piece is completely glazed, and the stilts allow it to stay flat. And here is the first piece. Now I have glaze, obviously, on these, so they have that reflective quality, but I'm going to post videos at the end of this video of all the pieces without the glaze so you can see the detail a lot easier, because these are really intense. And you can see all the detail that she paints on these. There you go, that's the first one. But she always said she can touch hot things, and I think I followed in her footsteps. So here is another one. I think, and don't hold me on this, I'm guessing that the price would be, these are like $4.50 because they're paintings. They're not, that's Canadian dollars. I think they're going to be like $4.50, but my wife has to look at these and estimate her time in them and such. But these are incredible. See the detail. Okay, this is the third one. You can see the size of these, they're really big. I'm guessing 13, 14 inches high by about 18 inches. Oh, I can tell by the kiln shells. Oh, they're close to 20 inches across, I would say. So they're pretty big paintings. That's a good angle, get the light reflection out of there. But as I said, I'll show you some unglazed photos at the end of the video. Okay, these are tiles that we'll get, and see, I keep my tiles totally flat. And that's because I weight them as they're drying on the edges. And I have damp cupboards where I can actually make them dry very slowly too. The key for tiles is to dry them really slow. You've got to allow the top surface and the bottom surface to dry equally fast so they don't pull on each other, the surfaces bottom and top, as they're drying, to make it curl up. If I can get you a bit closer in there. My wife has a thing about cat heads. She's done a lot of tiles with a cat head and other things around it. This is very pretty. So I'm not sure what frame she has for these, because we do ceramic frames, and I make wood frames too. So these all probably have frames ready made to go. That actually, I'm trying to think which painter that reminds me of. Almost Edward Munch or Chagall, I guess. My wife paints in a slightly primitive style. I glaze very thin on these because glaze does absorb some of the detail if you glaze too thickly. But on a functional piece, you have to glaze certain thickness, whereas tile you don't, as long as it's shiny and it seals the surface, basically. There's a couple of the little scrafito ones that we do. This is yellow slip over red clay and then black over the top. Just using a needle to carve them out. And these are, I would say that's 1.5 inches square, so these are tiny. And they go into a frame that will probably be about 4 inches or 5 inches square. The frames for those are always ceramic, and there's a lot of work in the frame too, so this one is magnificent. Look at all the detail in the leaves. Pictures of all these at the end of the video, but these sell for 95 Canadian dollars, which is about 70 US, I guess. So timestamp when you see this video, if you want one, you got to snap these up quick because there's literally one of each piece. And the first video I did of these, almost everything in the firing sold. And the second video I did, this is only the 3rd video of these this year. So she's getting a kiln load about every 2 months. There you go. Yeah, I shipped these pieces all over the place. After that first video, they went to, was it Finland, that's right. and Australia, and we have quite a few followers in Australia now. I will post this video tonight, even though I just posted a video. I hate posting too very quickly because it puts you guys under pressure to watch the videos. But because these are all going to go in the gallery, I probably should get this video out quick. It's like we're family now, you get to pick first. And then the rest are scrafito. And as you potters know, scrafito, when you're going through 4 layers, red, yellow, when it's red, white, then yellow on top, and then black on top, you have to press very delicately to be able to get just to the layer you want. There's how I fire them, there's the stilt. And Jackie's hands, I've had carpal tunnel surgery on both my hands, and it's because of these type of pieces. I used to carve a lot myself, and I'm actually in the process of doing 24 mugs at the moment. I've got 4 of them done, another 20 to go, and it's hard on your hands. I know somebody wanted a whale out of the last batch and it had gone, so here's the chance. The pictures at the end of the video only show one side of the mug, of course, so from that you can see the other side of the mug by looking at the video after you see the photographs. These turned out the best I've had so far. I added underglaze, black underglaze, to black slip, and it gave it a much richer black. Underglaze is expensive, so I try to use slips as much as possible because I can mix them myself and just add mason stains. And it's mason stain 6600 to get black, but it's never as black as if you add this, which is LUG1, I think. Yeah, I took them off the edge of the kiln because I'm nervous about knocking these. They're quite big mugs, this batch. There might be a few smaller ones in here, but I remember I threw these and Jackie said, they're really big. But people like big coffees. And that, you can see my hand. It's not that big a mug. Certainly is not meant for espresso. Oh, look at that little bird. The crow's making a noise out there. I'm sure you get a little sound of it because I threw food out for the birds. We had rain for 24 hours. This is the rainiest summer we've had in a long time. I've been here 10 years. I only remember one summer that was as rainy as this, but the plants in the garden are doing great. I guess we have a lot of seagulls here. And you can see the yellow just poking through there. It's meant to warm the pieces up and just have a glow, because it takes away the starkness of the black and the white. And the red clay does that too. Seagull on the roof, see? kitten. Happy family there. That one's slightly smaller. There you go. There's a lot of whimsy in these. I started making bird baths, so we have bird baths in the garden, and my wife's been putting them in the pieces now. If anybody's looking for, there's a couple of them. So I don't think they're oversized. I think that's a pretty. I sell beer tankers to people who want to drink coffee in sometimes. So anyway, but that's the size of them. So if you saw one of these that you want, just give me the timestamp, and hopefully you can get it before somebody else. Thank you very much. These firings are very special and very unique. And I'll post it tonight. All right, thanks very much. Bye.